Well, alrighty, boys. Y'all about ready to hit live or what's popping?
Um, all right. Talk to me, Tim. What's going on, dude?
You guys, it's a bet. I was just about to say, you guys remind me of like HSN during their like beginning phases, I guess, sort of, or just in general too, actually. Houston Smash Network. I don't know if y'all are familiar with them.
I am definitely not familiar with them.
No, actually, yeah, that's more the slurred nerd, basically. Yeah. Houston Smash Network. If you guys saw it, it would be like a gold mine of like good material, like genuine material for y'all to binge. I'm saying like they have stuff where they would ask each player like how do you deal with tournament nerves, and then they'd ask like 10 to 15 different players, and then that's a video, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they focused on content like that, and they haven't put content up in a while. um, but they still have the sponsored players, Velta and Wormy. That's what the HSN stands for in front of like Velta's tag. Yep.
All right, Tim. Start off introducing yourself and LSG, and then I can go ahead and introduce Krebs. Sound good?
Let's go. Already transitioned. All right, so welcome everyone to LSG Podcast number 2. My name is Tim. I go by Moo. Relative newcomer to Houston scene, but competitive gamer all my life. All that fun stuff you heard last week. Got with me today Pablo and Krebs, and Pablo's going to take it from here.
Yo. Hey, Pablo here. You can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Twitch. Just look up Pablo and you'll probably find me. I want to introduce our special guest for today, Mr. Devin Krebs. Before I forget his last name, Groff.
Yeah.
He is a tournament organizer for over 6 years, has hosted. He's host of Clash City Clash 1 and 2 and the upcoming National Standoff. Tournament organizer of over 250 offline events and over 40 online events. And I believe he just launched an online event that he will tell you in a little bit. But he is definitely someone that in Houston that we wanted to connect, we wanted to talk to, we wanted to just like pick on his brain a little bit, understand the Houston community a little bit further, and what Smash is really all about, you know. So Krebs, welcome. Go ahead, tell us a little bit about yourself, Krebs.
Yeah, definitely. So I've been involved in the scene in some way, shape, or form for over 6 years now. Started basically with 2012. I'm saying before that, like my senior year in high school, you know, I started out like a lot of people, you know, competitive, loving the game, best at my high school sort of thing. I won a tournament. I got first place out of 55 entrants at my high school, got all big in my head. And then once I found the competitive scene, got very quickly humbled because everyone was the best at their high school or best at their college. So yeah, you know, like I just always loved it. And, you know, there weren't that many competitions at my college. So it sort of started with like, hey, I've been to tournaments. I kind of know how to do things. And I like was just talking to the club, and then they were like, oh, you know what you're doing. And this is like the gaming club president at the time. You know what you're doing. I'm about to graduate. You should just be like the new gaming club president as of next semester. And I was a freshman. I was like, okay, huh. Um, so that's where it started, and then it branched out into hosting venues.
And
Hosting
who are
events.
you currently working with now? Or...
Well, that's a complex question just because like I have quite the network of like people I work with,
Yeah.
people that I've helped get venue deals worked out with,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like without leaking too much, I even recently helped two players get sponsored with
Awesome.
um, with a local store, basically, a local arcade.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's like I just sort of have my toes dipped in all sorts of little things. And I've helped a lot of people, I guess, get get what they want accomplished, whether it's an
Right.
event, whether it's sponsoring a player, whether it's working on content, whether it's even commentating, or any sort of little thing like up and coming streamers. I pass on all sorts of tips, advice. um,
Without
so I really just dabble in a lot.
without spoiling anything, when can we expect announcement on those two players? Is that something that's going to be announced relatively
um,
soon?
Yeah, actually. And well, funnily enough, their contract starts April, which is like, oh, but April Fools though. But uh, yeah, we might just go on ahead and announce that on April 2nd. What I can say for right now is that they're both in the top 15 of any Houston True Skill ranking that there is right now for Ultimate. Both of them are in top 15. So they're both very well deserving players. And it sort of spawned from this store asking me like a year ago, like, hey, we
Uh-huh.
want to sponsor players. What would that look like? Blah, blah, blah. And again, I don't mind talking about the behind the scenes a bit, but basically, generally, when a player gets sponsored, and I'm not going to say what the exact deal is here, but generally, it involves covering their entry and venue fees for
Right.
everything they go to, usually.
It's
Uh,
mileage or swag, I guess, an additional benefit
that
that
too.
they can get. Okay.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Okay.
definitely. And the players having a good Twitter following helps, of
Right.
course.
Right.
And there's all sorts of other dynamics like working out. The players possibly working on content, but also not
Mm-hmm.
forcing them in everything. So it's it's nice, and it's honestly a win-win. It's a win-win. It's a win for the business, and it's a win for the players. The players, get to brag about
Yeah.
being sponsored, and they get to compete even more and sort of turn it into more and more of a part-time job. And the business gets the exposure that they want, honestly, for very cheap when you compare it to other advertising methods. Um,
Mm-hmm.
it's yeah, it's a great like business deal all
Okay.
around.
Okay. Well, we have a lot of questions here that we wrote on our little list.
Definitely.
So let me start off with this one here that says, "Who do you main and why do you main that character?"
Oh man, so yeah, that honestly goes way back, because I'm sure y'all know by now that I main Snake, and
Oh, do you now? Yeah, yeah. Go ahead.
yeah, I love that the freaking Toon Link looking Snake. But anyway, um, yeah, so basically, all right, so back in 64,
Uh-huh.
Smash 64, one of my first games, I was legit the best at my daycare. My Link
Right,
was
right.
too spicy. The
Yes,
kids could not handle me.
yes.
And then that expanded into Melee, where I played Young Link, and I just loved throwing things. I was like just all about jumping around and throwing things. And so
Uh-huh.
Brawl came along, and I played Toon Link. I really liked him in that game. Looking back, it was a lot of like rolling down smashes and stuff, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
And I liked Link in that game too, but he was bad. And so anyway, I worked on the dash attack cancel up smash. Are you guys familiar with that tech in Brawl?
I'm not familiar with
Brawl.
anything from Brawl.
Nope. Nope.
Okay, so to quickly summarize it, it's this cool little thing where you run forward, do down on the C stick, and then up and A smash attack. And you basically cancel your dash attack, slide forward, and up smash. And so Link was one of the few characters with this, but he was bad. But you know who
Yeah.
else had that and who actually had pretty much the best dash attack cancel up smash in the game, it was actually Snake.
Yeah.
So if you guys have seen it, it's Snake sliding around the stage.
Yeah,
and
I definitely remember that.
yeah, so that's what it is. And so I ended up just sort of toying around with that. And then Snake, I guess just after a bit of time, I was like, well, Snake is a bit better than Toon Link. So I played Snake, and one of my best like tournament performances at an actual somewhat community involved tournament was I got third out of about 40 entrants, beating Wispy actually.
Nice.
I beat Wispy with Snake. Yeah, BC won it, and BC's brother Tot got second. He edged me out in losers finals. But yeah, Snake was my main in Brawl towards the end of it. Then in Project M, I mained Snake and Toon Link, and then across Smash 4, I lost my spirit animal, guys. I didn't have Snake, but but Villager was there, and Villager was definitely the homie. I won a ton of doubles events across the 4 years of Smash 4. I look back on those times with like, good memories and all that. And anyway.
Okay, real quick. Where do you like on any tier list? Like, is Snake like super high tier? Where do you put him at?
Well, in every game Snake has been in, Brawl, Project M, and now Ultimate, he's always been fundamentally a really good character. Like the way they design him, I guess he hits hard, lives long, has annoying like projectiles and stuff that, Grenade, for example, can shut down like half the cast in Ultimate, like actually. And he's just fundamentally designed. He just functions well. Like I guess I like the way Zero said it in an Isabel Villager video. He was like, the Isabel Villager engine works very well in this game, and then I sort of like think about it like League, and the Snake engine works very well in Smash. I mean, you trade a hit with Snake, he hits you for 15, and you hit him for like 8 or 9, and he lives long, and he kills you with rage. So it's like he's fundamentally a good character all around.
Okay.
Not to mention how nasty his tilts are. His up tilt.
Oh yeah,
it's one of the most disgusting things in the game.
Definitely.
He has a Shoryu.
All right. Next question. Moving on. What has been your favorite tournament to host and participate in?
Okay. Favorite tournament to host, I would say Clutch City Clash 1. Clutch City Clash 2 was great as well, but that was after Hurricane Harvey, and our city as a whole was hurting, man. Like, it was. But looking back on the good times of Clutch City Clash 1, we had Red Bull write about 4 to 5. Wait, it wasn't Red Bull, pardon me. ESPN write about 4 to 5 articles on us. One about like Abadongo, another about Mewtwo King, another about how we floated the top Melee players straight out of pools, which at the time was done at some majors. But anyway, Clutch City Clash 1 was definitely the culmination of like a year's worth of promotion and everything. And it became such a good thing to where like it was so big to the point where I like pretty much have to mention it on my resume. Like I was at the forefront of putting together an event that got 800 plus total attendees, about 650 registered online, and then an extra 150 plus across the weekend in spectators. So, like that's something you kind of have to put on your resume, it's a big deal.
Numbers. Yeah.
So that would be number one as far as hosting, and then entering, that would probably go to honestly the recent Smash Fight Club that I finally won. Just because it was like number 171, I believe, or 172, and
Yes.
I legit never won a singles event of that I ran my own bracket like until then. So that was honestly kind of emotional even. It was like, damn, I finally won my own bracket. I got second a couple times
Yeah.
over the years.
Congratulations, man. Congratulations.
No, that's got to be pretty
Thanks.
hype. So on that note,
Yeah.
is there a particular match that stands out to you? Some either at that tournament or elsewhere
Oh,
that you played in or commentated or anything like that that you were involved in that really stood
hmm.
out?
Oh yeah. So I would say highlight of my career overall as a player is definitely the 1v4 comeback back in Smash 4. Um, I don't know if you guys are aware of it already. Have you guys heard of it or seen it?
I'll be honest, I didn't follow Smash 4 at
Okay.
all.
Yeah, no.
Tim
Yeah.
didn't get into Smash until like
Ultimate.
December of last year.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no problem, no problem. Well, basically it was in every comeback like highlight reel video, and there was one big comeback like montage thing, like top 10 comebacks in Smash, and it was at the number one spot, and I'm saying this one had like 200,000 views on YouTube. um, and there were like countless other ones. Like there was this like super clickbaity one verse four, can villager make the comeback, and it has 100,000 views on YouTube. And our own video on the Smash United channel with it has x tens of thousands of views. And anyway, um like it was basically one of the few times we did a 4v4 event, as in 8-player Smash, two big teams. Um, and I was on my own against four characters, one of them being the wall. These were four like actively competitive players, and I made them look like goons that are in like a beat 'em up, like Streets of Rage. I made them look like NPCs, and I just happened to, I don't know, be really clutch and win it. And it was just, the bar was popping off, the crowd was yelling. Like if you guys were there, the atmosphere was insane. Like everyone was just yelling, like camp him out, Krebs, camp him out. Like everyone just yelling at the top of their lungs. Yeah,
And which event was
it
this at?
was. That was Smash Fight Club. I want to say like 17 or so. Um, it was a Sunday, and there were about like 8 or 9 or 10 4v4 teams, which equates to, like I think 8 teams would, be 32 people. So it's like there were a lot of people in this 4v4 event. Yep, a
No,
lot of people.
definitely pretty hype. Um,
Hmm.
so TOing, we're gonna segue into this real quick.
Yeah.
Do you have any tips that maybe you've gotten working with venues or working with sponsors as to how to approach that? How have you progressed as a TO when it comes to working with various venues and sponsors?
Hmm. Well, I could honestly blab about that in the specifics for a while, so I'll try and be concise
Hmm.
and to summarize and just glaze over it a bit, um, because basically the number one thing to keep in mind is that you're talking to a business, and they are a business that wants to make money, and so you need to talk numbers with them, and you need to talk foot traffic, you need to talk about how you can bring them more money. And um, it's like you have to talk venue fee, you have to talk specifics, and people don't talk about it. But also, as a TO, especially if you're saving up for your own stream or if you're trying to build a team, there does have to be a cut towards the team running the event itself. Now, that's at every venue across the country. I'm talking VG Boot Camp up in
Hmm.
Virginia, Maryland, Virginia. Tourney Locator up in Dallas, that's what they worked out. The venue gets X, like probably, I would take a guess, probably 50% of venue fee, and then 50% goes to the team running it. And then, you figure from there, and this is just shots in the dark again, they can pay the TOs or the TO team $1 a head, pay the streamer $1 a head, and then say 50 cents a head towards saving towards equipment, and that's just like numbers off the top of my head. They probably have something more concise. Um, but yeah, that's sort of the breakdown that gets worked out between venues and tournament organizers, because quite frankly, running tournaments is work, especially streaming events, especially streaming events, and then uploading all the VODs onto YouTube. Like at that point, I damn well hope you're getting paid, because that is genuine work and that deserves compensation.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's it, there are all kinds of different ways to look at it in different aspects, but I feel like I summarized it pretty well. If you're a TO, or if you're looking to start the whole TO life, I feel like that's a good enough, I guess, skeleton of what you would want to do, what you would look to do,
Mm-hmm.
and how you would talk to the business. Because again, they're seeing dollar signs, and rightfully so, because that's their livelihood. And it's a win-win, really. Like, people want tournaments, they want events, they want to be at a venue where they
Right.
can feel
Right.
safe and all that stuff. So um,
Yeah, and like I've spoken to Tim before, it's kind of like, oh, we just have to gather, our data. We just have to gather numbers, and then, um, if we wanted to host anything, we would have to bring up, like, maybe a list of, oh, these are all the people that could potentially attend, and if the venue or the sponsors see that, this big amount of numbers, then they will most likely work with us. So yeah, I
yeah.
mean, that's very important. Um, what when working with sponsors, can we go back again to the part where,
Mhm.
you were talking earlier? What is something that I guess a lot of players are looking for but could not get, um, from sponsors, or, um,
Mm. Yeah.
Like, how do
Okay,
you
I
work
have a
on managing
perfect answer.
expectations on both ends? Expectations of the sponsors and expectations of the players or the tournament organizers.
mhm.
Right, right. Okay. So, hmm. Well, hmm.
I know it's a little
So
bit difficult to answer. So
yeah. It's I'm just figuring out like which angle to talk about it from.
yeah.
Because all right, like, well, a lot of up and coming players, I'm saying, like, say a player is, starting to get some good wins and everything, and they want to get sponsored, and they hear about getting sponsored and how awesome it is. It's like, let me sort of burst your bubble here, for any
Right.
player that's excited about getting sponsored. All it really means is that you can start entering tournaments for free. Usually, like, I'm
Mhm.
talking local level sponsorships. And that's like at best, because, and I'm not gonna, like, I guess, leak things, but you guys have probably seen a lot of tags in front of players' names across Houston, and I'll tell you, like, probably only a handful or less of those players even get any sort of financial compensation or coverage towards entering their events. I'm saying these are crews, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
These are crews. Um, Now, when we talk about sponsored players, that's when we would talk more about certain players, like under Tourney Locators banner, under two GGs, two Good Gamings
Mhm.
banner, VGBC and their sponsored players, MVG, MVG League with like Mewtwo King and stuff, um, where these players start getting like half of their flight covered once every 2 months and stuff, or better, or they have a monthly salary of X hundreds of dollars, as long as they cooperate and work with streaming and stuff. But
Right.
basically, local level players and sponsorships, the best you could hope for is just having your entries covered everywhere you go. That in itself is great. And at like a local level, very few players in San Antonio, in Austin, in Houston, and Dallas. Um, very few players even get that, really. Like I'm saying, like very few players, even in the top 10, get that. And so, like the deal I worked out with the two top 15 players in Houston that are about to get announced
Hmm.
sponsored, it's a good deal. But like honestly, if one of the players starts popping off and winning at majors, we would sort of be like, "Hey man, like you should go and get a better sponsorship. Like it would be better for
Right.
you." And then, a better sponsorship would be one that like would cover flight and hotel, for example, and those sponsors exist for like top 50 in the world players, but not some random Joe Schmo number 8 in San Antonio or number 8 in Houston. It's like, I hate to break it to you, but the best you can hope for is getting your entries covered.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. And what are some of the expectations from, I guess, from sponsor to player?
Mm. Um,
Like it's
it
fine,
depends.
they cover their fee, right, and everything, but
Mhm.
what else are they? What is the sponsor expecting, like, to get in return from sponsoring, from giving them their money to these players?
Yeah. Um, Well, I think one of the best examples is a lot of what happens in the Rio Grande Valley scene, right? There's this arcade called Critical Hit Arcade, and they're a venue for weeklies and stuff for multiple games. And I believe they have like 2 or 3 sponsored players.
Hmm.
Um, and so what they would do is like cover the entry fees for their players, and they would just ask for like a little bit of help with bracket and stuff, or they would just ask for, I don't know, like general overall help with promoting um, the tournament series at the venue. I mean, um, so normally, at least local sponsorship deals like that, they're sort of just, hey, wear our shirt,
Right.
Yeah, but
Okay.
once you get into the top 50 in the world player range, that's when you're talking more like, okay, show like it's like a team, right? The sponsor has
Hmm.
their own sponsors. It's like, okay, show these products during your live stream, and then the player has to, show and even help with like sales of like shirts of their sponsor and all that. Um,
Awesome.
yeah.
Tim, you want to go ahead and move on to the next question?
No, absolutely. So the next thing I want to get into a little bit, the transition at Coral Sword. So
Hmm.
what can us as players or casual guys that go and volunteer every now and then, what can we expect? And then what do you think is going to change positively for, I'm hoping positively for the venue, for the tournament, and what's going to change personally for yourself?
Hmm. Well, and again, I like being blunt and straightforward and everything. Um, so, especially if Ram ends up listening to this in the future, hello, Ram. Yeah. So, hmm, basically, all right. Ram has hosted tournaments across the last few years. And so I guess like the scene came to a certain point where Ram, at least for a little while, before me handing over Coral Sword, um, Ram wasn't in charge of any like reoccurring weekly or biweekly tournament. Like he still had like a monthly, going. And anyway, um, whenever WAG was shifting to a new TO and everything, it's just extremely apparent and aware, or clear, I should say, that Ram would want to host a tournament still, a reoccurring series. And honestly, you guys have probably seen chatter about it. There are too many tournaments sometimes. Like, I'm saying we should aim for there to be just like one reoccurring event at each part of the city, in my opinion. Like if we have 2 tournaments a week in Humble, it's like, honestly, guys, y'all should just try and unite and like,
Yes.
Collab.
Yes.
And
Let me
pursue
clap
them.
to that, dude.
Yeah,
Let me
oversaturation is definitely a real thing, and
Yeah.
it's like, it's not even chatter at this point. It's a fact that Houston struggles with that lack of organization.
And that's what the board is about. That's how the board came to be in Smash 4. And it's just awkward because it's like, what does this Facebook group board, quote unquote, even have the power to do, right? But it's like, okay, they can basically control who can and can't post about their events. And so when you think about that, it's like, okay, there's a big group with over 4,000 people. They can sort of dictate which events live and die. But anyway, to take us back to the original point, so Ram wasn't hosting an event, and I know if I was in Ram's shoes, being someone that wants to contribute to the scene, I would want like a reoccurring event. And me being a guy that, like, I could list, Jesus, all the things I do, but basically Smash tournament wise specifically, I'm already running a Sunday weekly, and the Thursday bi-weekly was like an extra cool thing that I did because the venue was awesome, and it was a venue that needed a tournament organizer, and it's a great venue too, great location and all that. So it was just like sort of a side thing that I did. And just thinking about all that, it was like, well, you know what? I think for the sake of not having oversaturation, and I know Ram would really be able to focus, it being like the only thing he works on outside of like maybe a monthly and his own life, with work and whatnot. He would be able to give the focus that the venue deserves. Whereas like if I'm stuck around here having to promote Coral Sword and Smash Fight Club in the same week sometimes, I feel like both events sort of in their own little way suffer a bit, just because I'm splitting my following into the 2 locals. Whereas Ram's following, which by the way, this is a thing per each TO, each TO sort of has their own following. Whereas if Ram sort of dedicates his 100% following into the 2 bi-weeklies a month and the 1 monthly, then it's like, okay, that's not getting split across more and more events like it would for me, because only X amount of people are going to see my posts and X people are going to see his posts. And I hope I'm still making sense, but basically, I think it's a win-win because, again, he can focus and really prioritize that event, whereas me, it'd be like an afterthought, like, okay, crap, it's Tuesday and I haven't posted the event page yet. Like, okay, I got to do it real quick. And then like, I don't know, I just don't feel like I'm doing the event justice at that point, Yeah.
That totally makes sense. So we can see, we're going to see positive growth basically at both Coral and SFC from these changes. SFC, they're both great events. Like, I try to make it out to both of them when I can. SFC is like 5 minutes from me, and Coral's over an hour, but they're both really good events with really good venues.
Yeah, they definitely are. And SFC's been going on a long time, and we have all sorts of plans with I don't know, maybe new venue for it, or new like little things. I mean, we always have new ideas with the stream.
Right.
I'm sure y'all noticed already. And this isn't me like even sounding braggy or anything. I like to think I'm just stating facts, but with the SmashUnited stream, especially Remo pouring his heart into it, it's the highest quality stream for a weekly that we have here in Houston. And so I hope people take advantage of that and, like attend it and like play on stream and all that good stuff.
Right. Yeah. So with the time it's freeing up for you, what are you currently working on? What big stuff do you have in the works?
Well, of course, we have Standoff coming Labor Day weekend. Um, that is the spiritual successor to Clutch City Clash 1 and 2, and it's Ultimate only. And basically, one of the best major, Smash Major experiences you could ever have is one at a hotel where they have 24-hour venue at least one night, and you can literally like go downstairs from your room and you're at the tournament. You know, you're in your pajamas still and you're at the tournament. um I can't really explain it better than that, but that is genuinely one of the best experiences you can have at a major. Like you like, I'm talking degenerate hours. It's 10 p.m. You can't sleep. 11 p.m., whatever, even midnight or 1 a.m. Can't sleep. You go down there, and there are people money matching like crazy and shit talking and everything. And there are random top players still up, and you're like, damn, don't you have like top 64 tomorrow, bro? But they're there and they're fiending and they're side betting. And it's awesome. It's hype, and like there's all kinds of specific top players that really get into it. Like Nakat, man, he is a side bet fiend. Uh, yeah, and so we're really trying to emulate that with Standoff. So it's Saturday, Sunday, Saturday overnight. You know, I'm saying like people can pack sleeping bags and sleep at the venue.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and well, I don't exactly know how legal that would be, but um, but I think it's still possible to do at least. But anyway, that's the sort of experience we're trying to do with Standoff, and we already have like top players we're talking to, top players that are interested, and honestly, just like Clutch City Clash 1 and 2, we're brainstorming behind the scenes on like fundraising drives and certain things we can do to get top players flown out to our city, us housing them and everything. You know, us taking them to and from the airport. Like we really go the extra mile with all of this, and helping our scene get more exposure, because whenever we fly out Ally, Abadongo, you know, these players with 10,000 plus Twitter followers, we want our Houston boys to beat them. We want our Texas boys to beat them, you know? And because that would, I mean, instantly, like if Deluxe
Right.
Menu beats like, well, he did beat Zenodo, and you know, the man has like 1,200 Twitter followers now, Deluxe. So like that's the real results of our local heroes beating these top players. Like they start making a name for themselves. Deluxe is regarded as at least a top 3 Bowser in the world. In my opinion, he's probably the best Bowser in the world at the moment. But you know, it's really cool seeing them build a name for themselves.
It's definitely cool. What about your Twitch channel? You got anything big coming up there?
Oh yeah, definitely. And I mean, outside of my monthly, like my Twitch channel is more of like my personal goals and everything, and it's hard to balance with Smash because I even happen to come across as like, I would say, I don't want to say selfish, but like self promoty, because it's like my own thing, and basically I'm thinking beyond Smash. It's like, imagine if Smash Ultimate is the last Smash, or even if the next game is. Whenever I'm 40, 50 years old, I want to be able to just sit down at a computer, fire up a stream, play Animal Crossing, Pokemon, anything in front of viewers, because I'd be playing anyway. And like it's it's getting more into like personal dreams and goals sort of thing, because like, and I won't get into it too much, but I see literally thousands of people on Twitch and YouTube, of course, doing it full time, right?
Yeah.
And I'm saying like dudes in their mid 20s, late 20s, paying off the mortgage on their house, you know, that's real. That's real. Like, I'm not memeing. Like, there are
No, it's
thousands of
real.
people doing this.
Yeah.
Right. It's definitely a
And
real modern career. It's something that's not a pipe dream anymore. If we had talked about this when we were all
definitely,
in high school, everybody would have laughed and be like, "No, for real, what are you going to do?" But nowadays,
yeah,
it's not just a pipe dream anymore. It's something that, with the work ethic and with the dedication, like it's a thing that could happen.
yeah, seriously. And,
Hmm.
it is all about, staying grounded, staying realistic about it all. But, you know, I look at these people and a lot of them just don't seem that special to me. I'm like, damn, I'm more special than them. Like, come on, like,
Yeah, there are
people
some
should
people
be
that I
throwing.
follow and they're like monotone. They don't really talk, but they have a lot of viewers. So it's just
Right.
like,
Yeah.
okay. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but no, I definitely can see that, happening to just about anyone. As long as there's
Mm-hmm.
as their work, as they're promoting themselves, there should be no shame. You should never have any shame about, hey, follow me on Twitter, follow me on Instagram. You should never have any shame on that. You should always be promoting yourself wherever you go. Um,
Mm-hmm.
even I think maybe if there was, I don't know if you guys sign like what's it called? Uh oh um, when you have issues with a business and maybe you want to promote your own business,
Mm-hmm.
not confidentiality. I'm sorry, I'm forgetting the other
Yeah.
paperwork that people sign. um
NDA, non-disclosure agreement.
no, 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 it's just like not promoting yourself kind of thing. I don't know if you have that with Smash United or whoever
Uh,
you work with, but self promotion is very important. Like
mm-hmm.
that's how you grow as a person. That's how you grow your community, and
Mm-hmm.
that's just how you get followers. So
Yeah, and like I'm still in the baby steps of it. I barely started
Mhm.
streaming myself. But basically, like, I used to host online tourneys on the Smash United channel, and I'm just trying to think beyond Smash these days,
Yeah.
because, like, we haven't even talked about it, but I actually won about like 9 to 10 Pokemon locals back in XY.
Hmm.
Uh,
And that's what I told Tim. I'm like,
There
bro,
we
a
go,
month
Pokemon.
after a month after Pokemon releases, we're having a tournament. Like I don't care if it
yeah,
goes bad or whatever. We are having a tournament. Once it
yeah.
releases, give it a month, and we will have a tournament. So
Mm-hmm.
that's our
Oh yeah,
goal right there. That's our goal. That's one of our goals.
There you go. I'm totally
yeah.
down. I'll bring out that Mega Gengar and we'll see what happens.
Yo, and it's hella a thing that that can exist and that has happened, like,
Hmm.
especially with Pokemon VGC and their actual, like, leagues and championships and prizes and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, um I personally plan on doing some online tournaments for Pokemon Sword and Shield, and just from the comfort of my own home, also entering them and distributing some hands. Um, yeah, doing them hard reads. I knew you were gonna switch. Damn.
Hell yeah. No, I miss all that Pokemon, like all those hours I spent on Pokemon, just like IV, EV, and like trying to get the perfect nature and everything. So it's just, I'm
Yeah,
excited
Sword and
for
Shield is
Sword and
gonna be
Shield. I'm
so hype.
excited.
It's gonna be
Oh
great for
yeah,
everyone. Can't wait for
it
Twitch to
really will.
explode.
Yeah. Okay, we have like 13 minutes left, so we want to hit you with a little bit more questions. Because this
Oh.
podcast today was about you, and we want to continue just asking you some more. What is something in the Smash? We're talking Smash community, not Pokemon anymore. Uh, what is
Hmm.
something that is missing within the Houston community in regards to Smash? Um,
Mm.
I'll give you some, like, you could say, like, needs less tournaments or needs
Hmm.
more organization, or maybe like somebody's like monopolizing every, I don't know, whatever you think it's like the Houston community is missing, is in need of, um in regards to Smash Ultimate,
Hmm.
Smash Super Smash Bros.
Well, the first thing that comes to mind, and I hope this isn't seen as shots toward anyone, um, but it is a real thing. So up in SoCal with two GG,
Hmm.
um, their top players, especially, I'm saying Larry Lurr, Void. Now across Smash 4, these players, they're scene's top level players. they entered their locals and they helped like tweet out or retweet the stream. And we are very extremely divided here in Houston. Like our top players do not do that.
Yeah.
Now Deluxe is like the closest one to it, especially sharing his own videos and stuff to his followers. But I'm saying, like, imagine if, well, playing with fire is a great example, right? But imagine if that sort of, let's all actually come together sort of mentality happened for a weekly, where it was the weekly that everyone gathered to, where there wasn't an entrant cap, and it happened every week.
Mm-hmm.
And it was also the same weekly with the highest quality stream and with VODs uploaded like the next day with thumbnails, everything, to help these players really like promote themselves and of course review their own VODs. Like if we had that sort of unity, then both players and the weeklies themselves and the corresponding stream to that weekly would all just explode. Like they would all really grow, and we would basically be where Dallas is with Tourney Locator, because
Right.
that is exactly what their scene has done.
You're absolutely right.
Basically.
We don't have a shockwave.
Exactly.
And it's not because we don't have the population or the player base. It's an organization issue. It's a community issue by and large.
Yeah, we haven't rallied behind one banner yet.
Um,
And I mean, we have, at least during Smash 4, everyone did sort of rally under Smash United, at least for a bit. But without going into too much detail, there was, in my opinion, a lot of unnecessary drama, and it tore our scene apart. And it's honestly really sad to see, but everyone's mended bridges, everyone's like shaking hands, everyone gets along now. But I feel like some of the stigma is still there, lingering a bit, and that'll just influence players to say go to playing with fire than over SFC, which there's only so much I can do. Like I don't want to nag people about coming or anything.
Right.
And I don't want to also be the guy that's like, hey, let's just make my weekly the premier one, but it's just an awkward position to be in. But I feel like we can do it soon. I feel like Houston will soon have that esports arena or that big venue that can handle 150 people,
Right.
On a Friday or on a Sunday or on a Tuesday. And then from there, if we just really cooperate, retweet, tweet out, talk about it, tell friends to go, and then the venue also helps promote, and then we're out there like with flyers and business cards, and then we're really growing the scene in every angle. That's when Houston will get to the Dallas level of locals and stuff. But in the meantime, we actually we just happen to not have monthlies or regionals, but we're already there attendance wise. People do come together for our regionals and stuff. So despite this sort of split in the scene that we just discussed, despite that, there is still that unity of, hey, we're all Houston, we're all in this together. These 5 to 8 top players are flying out. Let's come together and do our best to mess them up and not let them get into top 8.
And while we're on the note, what do you think about the Houston casting need, for lack of a better word? There's been Facebook posts about it and everything else. And when you think about it, besides Banjo, is there another consistent Houston caster? Is there a lack of talent? Is it just a lack of dedication? What's going on there?
It's a lack of desire. It's a lack of desire because I don't think people realize that the steps are mapped out right in front of them. And it's all about being realistic too, about what the players even want when they step on the mic. Because a lot of the time, well, of course, you got to be willing to accept doing it for free, at least at the beginning. And Remo has made that post about, hey, we need commentators, or hey, we need to improve the overall quality of commentary in Houston. He's made that post across the last 4 or 5 years. He's made that post at least 3 to 4 times, like
All right.
the desire is just not quite there. Like Banjo is one of the only people that's trying to brand himself as a commentator, and also doing his own stream and everything. It's like I even dabbled in it. I even dabbled in commentary, but then it's like, man, like I'm a TO. Like I can commentate, and some people tell me they like my commentary, but then I'll see like one comment about how my commentary is cringy, and then I'm like, man, I'm not doing this. Like you guys are gonna sit there and roast me. Like I'm not gonna commentate for you guys. And then, well, I feel like that's what happens with a lot of people then. But
I can see that.
It's hard.
So we've already touched on it a little bit. What do you think about the WAG changes that went down? Is that 2 weeks ago now?
Yeah. Okay, so again, like overly bluntness, honesty, all of that. And I hope I'm not shooting myself in the foot too much, but basically, with WAG shifting to Anthony Tran, well, for one, it's great that it seems like the weekly, well, for one, we'll have a dedicated TO. Anthony Tran will be focusing on that event as far as Ultimate goes. He's a very motivated guy. I know he's doing his own thing as well with monitors and consoles, and he's looking to set himself up to be the person that can bring 20 full Ultimate setups to, say, Comic Palooza, and they pay him X hundreds and even in the thousands range for that service, because it is a service.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, the part where I hope I don't shoot myself in the foot too much is let's see. Game Guys as a venue is a great venue. I just feel like there's just been too many instances of, I don't want to say drama, but I guess overall bad vibes around the venue, which I hate to say because I'm friends with the owner, but it's just, like there would be a webcam stolen, and then the owners, of course, like retort in a way that's like, WAG is canceled for a while, and then it just like happened to come back. And they were gonna like cancel it entirely and not even do Smash anymore, but then they brought it back. And anyway, it's like, I feel like Game Guys is it could have actually been the venue that unified the scene, but just so many things happen to happen, and maybe also like for parking, maybe, and some other reasons behind it. It just never happened to be that venue that got the Premiere Weekly and then unified the scene. It's like,
Right.
It's honestly a bummer, in my opinion. It's like a missed opportunity. But like,
Because I actually like that venue.
right?
I like the first floor, the second floor. All they have is pretty cool.
Yeah.
The difficulty there may be parking, but I mean, aside from that, the venue itself, it's actually really, really, really nice inside. Yeah, we only have like 3 minutes left. We know you're working, and we don't want to keep you talking for too long. So last couple of questions, real quick, and this should take like a second.
Cool.
Okay, who is the best Smash player in Houston and in Texas? You have like a second to respond, so we can move on to the next question.
Genus, because he won MLG Dallas. Let's go.
Okay.
Nah, but really, Trella.
Trella?
For sure.
Trella, okay.
Yeah, like obviously. But Genus is like the sage.
Yeah. How about this guy named Krebs the Legend? What do you think?
Let's go. he a memer. The dogs already know. He a memer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
it's one of those things like, I'll spike someone and be like, I'm the best.
Oh my god, those dogs! I swear. Okay. Last question. And then we'll close. Who do you think are some of the key individuals that people should connect to in the Smash community in Houston?
Hmm.
I guess it's
Hmm.
a good time to give like shout outs to people you work with and stuff.
Oh
So.
yeah. Okay. Yeah. Some of the most like positive figureheads, especially. Um, so Alvisor really does a lot of work behind the scenes that I think goes underappreciated. I'm saying the man dedicates like at times hours upon hours to like graphics, to
Hmm.
the true skill rankings. Like people don't realize, but genuinely hours go into that.
Yeah.
And he hosts 1 to 2 locals a week, which, you know, like me, for example, I basically have to cross out Sunday on my calendar every week. Like on a calendar, it's like, oh, I'm doing something that day every week. So just the commitment in itself is big. Um, Zyro as well, definitely want to shout him out. Now he definitely does, in my opinion, need to work on his table manners on Facebook, but he's a cool guy. Like you meet him, you talk to him, you get to know him, and you'll see. Like he's a genuine guy. I mean, like anyone else, he's
Hmm.
his own person, human being.
Yeah.
He's three
Yeah.
dimensional. He's not just some asshole online. Despite how he may look like that at times, um, but he acknowledges that himself, and he just loves being like a keyboard warrior, conversation starter, I would say.
Hmm.
But again, nice guy. He's done a lot for the scene. Like he's legit the grandfather of the scene. Like if I'm the father of the scene, he's the grandfather. Like
Yeah.
he is the guy that sort of laid out the path for these guys like Trella and Genus and Razor. He's the guy that hosted the events that were their training grounds and that led them to becoming the greats that they are today.
Yeah. Anybody else? One more person?
Well, of course, it would be a shame if I didn't shout out my boy Remo. That man,
Hmm.
oh my goodness. Like, it's great that he now has a job where he's basically um doing production full time, like
Yeah.
streaming wise and everything. And that is like, damn, talk about dream come true. Um, but yeah, he is someone I couldn't go without shouting out because he really does pour his heart and soul into the scene, and he's made
Hmm.
so many sacrifices behind the scenes that, like, if I went into detail, it would be describing too much about his personal life. But he's really he it's like he has sacrificed so much of himself for the scene, and it's honestly sad that like I see people like hating on him or you know I don't know, like talking bad about him,
Yeah.
because it's like, dude, y'all don't know like what he's been through for you guys. It's a little heartbreaking, and I don't mean to like
Hmm.
tear up about that or anything, but it's just bad. Like even people like Zyro, people will spread rumors, and it's just like, man, let's be adults. Like let's not
Yeah.
let's build each other up.
Definitely. And we appreciate your time, your your answers to all of our questions.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and if you have any more shout outs, anything else before we close, um, please go ahead right now. I'm plugging your Twitch or Twitter, Instagram, anywhere that people can
Mm-hmm.
follow you. So.
Yeah, definitely. Like, there's a ton of people that I would want to shout out. Like, just so many people like Wispy, or like damn near everyone that's supported any locals or regionals I've done. Like, it really means a lot. And man, I'd feel bad for not shouting out anyone specifically. Like even
Hmm.
Johnny,
Yeah.
Banjo, um, like people on the SU team. I'm talking like Victus.
Hmm.
I'd feel bad for not shouting anyone out, but there's just too many names, too many homies.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll just sort of finish with, I managed to get my everything social media wise to Krebs T Legend. I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying Instagram, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Rabbit. Join my room on Rabbit. I'll be watching Hunter x Hunter. Oh my
Well,
gosh.
we appreciate you so much for taking the time of your day and talking to us again.
Yeah.
Follow this stream, follow my stream. Go ahead, give us that follow, and yeah, thank you again. Tim, you got anything else you
All right.
wanna say?
So obviously today we're on my Twitch. Next week we'll be over at my boy Pablo's at Pablo. Make sure to throw us a Twitter follow. I'll do unspeakable things for Twitter follows at this point in my life.
Shots.
So just throw us a follow. Next week we will have Ram on here, so we'll get the reverse side of why Krebs dropped the ball on Coral Sword and the truth behind all that fun stuff.
Snap. I'm gonna get exposed, guys.
So
The exposure.
make sure to tune in next week for that. If anybody has any interest in coming on, by all means reach out. If not, I'm just going to keep randomly harassing people and we'll see how it goes. But
Yeah.
thanks everyone for listening.
Yeah. Friday we have our round robin in my channel. So we're just hanging out. Come hang out with us.
That's right. So we'll see who I get to upset this week. I got a new pocket pick I'm working on. I'm going to get one more upset.
Let's go.
All right. Thank you all so much. We'll see you next week on Wednesday.
Oh,
Yes.
one other thing before we go. My new job doesn't start till Monday. So we got Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I'll be streaming at least 8 hours, all 4 days. So you want to see some people die ridiculous amounts of time in Breath of the Wild, because that's what we're doing right now. We're one divine beast into the 3 heart run. So we're doing 3 heart, stamina upgrades only, limited items, master mode. So tune in for that.
Sick.
But see you then. Bye.
All right. Peace out. Bye.
Bye.